Thanks for jumping in. Nice to see you. If you want to tell us a little bit about apps for brainstorming and ideation.
Yeah. Thanks, Harish. So just as we are talking through all the apps or the experiences which are more hybrid to us in the work environment and talking about richer meeting experiences, I would want to talk about another area where people generally want to collaborate within a meeting space altogether, right? So ideation, brainstorming sessions that happen within the organization that are very common, and with the hybrid work environment going today, so people need to come on board to contribute together, to collaborate together in real time for these apps. So today, some of the potential scenarios that the users have, right, where you want to come together, work on a uh, shared dashboard, work on co-author flowcharts, workflows, etc. Second is more of like creating wireframes, mockups specifically for any product-based companies where designers, where developers come in together and work in real time to increase the productivity, to churn out outputs in a quicker time, right? So that is really important. So today, going along with the theme of richer meeting experiences, we have a couple of apps showcases lined up for you, where we'll show you app experiences around different areas or different use cases that have been listed here. So first one that we have is Creately. So Creately is one of the products that is used to co-create, co-author flowcharts, workflows, etc., and meetings, and that can be used across your organization. And today, to take you through the complete experience, end-to-end experience, we have with us Chandika, who's the CEO of Creately. Welcome, Chandika, and the floor is completely yours. Please feel free to continue.
Pleasure to be here, Ashna. Thank you very much. So thanks for having us, guys. And let me quickly share my screen and get things going.
Nice to see you, Chandika. I hope your
Hey, Harish.
voice is better.
Yeah, it's a really nasty cold. That's I'm almost losing my voice, but I'll make do.
All
Hopefully, you
right.
guys can
I
tolerate
hope you feel better
croaky
soon.
voice. Um, so yeah, so Creately is about working visually. Very excited to showcase what we do here. So what is Creately? Um, so you use Creately to ideate, so brainstorming, workshops, that kind of thing, or strategic planning, analyzing flows and processes, um, or even running projects. So going from brainstorming to actually executing projects or agile project management, uh, to capturing knowledge and capturing notes and so on inside the same shared workspace. So our primary base is this smart visual canvas where everything else is built on. So on Creately, you have visual workspaces and modeling and diagramming. Those are the first core pieces of Creately. And on that, we have custom databases, task management, wiki, and nodes. And every single piece of Creately is multiplayer collaborative. So it's built purely for collaboration end to end. So when you bring Creately into teams, so our goal was, to help people think and work visually from get-go, help you streamline, the way we look at work is from the point where you ideate and brainstorm to creating actual concrete plans, and then going into, making those plans into action projects, and then after you execute that, to capture that knowledge that you generate in that process, to have that be referable, be referenceable at the end of the day. So you have this entire workflow that you can manage inside Creately, and then you have a virtual whiteboard that you can run really inclusive, engaging, and creative meetings. So talking about meetings, right? Most of us would like less meetings, right? And as Harish pointed out, we have 2.5 times more meetings now, same Microsoft stats. And there's so many situations where this meeting should have been email, right? But emails suck. There's no opportunity of interaction. That's why we have meetings. And what's the point of this meeting? Is sometimes the meeting drags on, the agenda is vague, you don't have a point that you are trying to make or not trying to make. So it's just a waste of everybody's time. Or one or two people do most of the talking. So people actually don't get to contribute, even though they have some stuff to say. Um, or people these days lots of people have lots of meetings. You have this calendar notification pop up, you just join the meeting, you have no idea, you have no context of no time to really, understand what's happening, and you don't have the resources to do that. So what does a perfect meeting look like, right? It's on time as planned, clear, and everyone knows the context. Everyone participates and contributes, clear action items, and outcomes, in your dreams, right? So this is really what we thought about when we, design Creately for teams. So on Teams and Creately, so you can have agenda on this, free form, easy canvas. You have, the big picture and the details in the same way, which is very important for people to understand context very quickly. Virtual whiteboard, so everyone can, work together in the same space. And, you can assign tasks and ownership and map it to actual projects or even OKRs as you go. So I'll jump into a live demo. Demo gods be kind to me. So you can see my screen, yes? Teams, Harish? Or...
Yep, we can.
Yes, all right, great.
Yeah.
So I'm in a Teams channel. So you can add Creately through by searching on the Data Labs menu onto your platform. It's free to use at this point on Teams. And what typically we see customers doing is they pin it to the channel that they're working on, usually a project or certain area of interest. So you can pin a project or a folder or a specific workspace for you to work here. Let me just go into the thing that I've pinned already. So in here, so this is a folder that we've pinned onto your channel, and you have a few workspaces that are already here. And in those workspaces, some have different statuses that you can see. Some of these things are in progress, some things are approved or final, some things are in review. So let me just go into this one for Creately for Meetings. So once I click that, the app loads right inside Teams. And let me just make a little bit of space, expand the tab. So you land on this agenda that you can set up. It's easy, editable. This is also real-time collaborative. Everyone on the canvas everyone in this channel can access this workspace, whether they have signed up for Creately or not. There's no, the sign-in is automatic, so very fast to get in and get out. And then you have I see Nesta already here poking in. So you have this brainstorming mind map that you've been working on. It's designed for very quick changes and so on. So when you're in a meeting, you can work together and continue. So you can just click add, type, and so on. And so different types of things can be used. So imagining this is like a project management or a project status update meeting, and you have the initial brainstorming that you did. You have the full context here so that everyone who's joined the meeting can see this content. And there's a structured template where you would use it for that you would use for guided brainstorming or a planned sort of exercise during the workshop. This would be a project timeline that that you're running right now, and this is a task prioritization grid. So one key thing in Creately, excuse me, the cough is coming back.
Hey, Ravi, I see your hand is raised. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick question. Maybe Chandika can also take a few seconds break there with this question. This is great in a channel, but can I do all of this during a live meeting as well?
Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Let me just do right just that. Let me go into a call that I think we have right now. Excuse me for a moment. I need to get this cough out of my system. So sorry.
All good. No worries. So Radhi, to answer your question, while Tika gets back, yes, within a meeting, you can pull up the Creately app.
Yeah, so
and be able to collaborate then.
Yeah, so you can just add it from here. So one handy thing is if you've shared a workspace into a meeting, it will be pinned right here. So you can just click it and go back in if it's in the same sort of recurring meeting. So it shows up on your right-hand side. So I've pinned this workspace here, and I click here, and it'll come into the shared space in the middle. And everyone's mouse pointer shows up after that loads. There you go. So yeah, so I'm back in that mind map. And if I go in back to where I was, so this is a 2x2 grid for task prioritization usually. And the one key thing in Creately is that each item, we are all about like having the big picture and the details, has its own notes, right? So every item has different notes. So if I click this one, it's a different note. This one, it's one note. And this is a full-on doc, right? So you have the details right here. You can have discussions, you can have comments, you can even have attachments. So these are great for process flows or even task management, or even doing requirement specs, architecture documents, and so on. And I don't have a lot of time to cover this stuff, but everything on the canvas is actually works. So these are like visual apps. So when I change the effort here, this is the effort versus impact prioritization grid. If I make the effort 45 here, it'll jump on the chart. And if I move it here, it'll jump here, change the data here as well. So you can build a lot of custom cool interactions here. And it works great for other kinds of scenarios as well. For say planning a HR say a merger or succession planning and so on and so forth. And you can keep certain data only for yourself or only for shared across the organization. And lots of scenarios can be covered. But the biggest thing is like it's visual. And everyone can, so you can see right now, so Nesta is here, he can make changes, and even the notes here, right? So Nesta, if you come onto the, the notes panel, this is also fully collaborative. It works like, say in Microsoft Word, you can, multiple people can type on the same thing here as well. So you have the agenda, you have the things that you're working on. It just works for all the people in your team can work on the same space. Going back into a couple of other examples.
I was just going to ask that. I was going to say,
yeah.
Is somebody just presenting the visuals, or anybody else on the call can also start to interact and actually add to it? Because if they're brainstorming or something, then everybody can start to add cards and start to move things around. And then I realize you just showed me that.
Exactly. And that's the key thing, right? It's rather than now what people are usually used to is doing a screen share. But screen share is very one way. It's only the presenter has the ability to, dictate the terms. But when you're running a collaborative meeting or any meeting at all, so if you were in the office, somebody could walk up to the whiteboard and start putting something down. But you can't do that right now in a hybrid environment. So really, this is the only option. And, the way we work internally and lots of customers of ours work is for every meeting, they have a shared space, a shared workspace, and they put all the stuff in there. And it's very easy for everybody to really, really understand what's happening. So jumping back in to other examples, right? So this applies for, you have tons of, templates and scenarios that you can apply this, from brainstorming to running actual projects. You can have actual Kanban boards and timelines in here. You can assign tasks to people, to individuals, and continue from there.
So
yeah.
One question, Chandika, there. So this breadth and depth of the scenarios that we are covering, right? Plus, it can be used across horizontal, so all the people in the organization can use it, right? So as a last word, like, how has been the customer experience or feedback so far on the app?
So So Create has been right now. So we're a fairly old company. We started in 2008. We have over 8 million people using the platform. Thousands of teams use Creately already. We are, we started inside Microsoft Teams, a couple of months ago, and the adoption has been great. People are really trying to, starting to use it across the board inside the organization. So you have, it's really the horizontal use case that helps companies, and have this as a default app during your meetings and on channels. So yeah, so Creately is very well set up to serve enterprises, and there's in-app support that you can get 24/7 sort of live chat support from an agent. And yeah, so and it integrates with other things as well, like PowerPoint, Word, and Excel, and GitHub. We have a plugin coming in for Azure DevOps as well. So yes, Creately does a fair bit of things, and really helps the meeting experiences as you go on.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks.
Chandrika, so
Thanks,
much. We'll give you a break as well to catch your breath
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
But if folks on the call, if you've got questions, please feel free to throw it on chat. Chandrika, if you can stick around for a bit and answer any of those questions on chat, or drop a few links as well to some of the things that you've shown, that'd be fantastic. So
Yeah,
thank you again.
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Chandrika.
Back to you, Rachna.
Just as we switch over, thanks, Harish. That was a great example of a whiteboarding, brainstorming app that can be brought into meetings. Just a shout out for everyone on the call. There are several such apps, and if you're using any of these outside today, right, like for example, Figma or Mural, we have app integrations for all of them, so they can very easily be just brought into the meeting. And if you want to try something new, you have Creately. That's also a fantastic example and available.